And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Intuitive Insights in Tarot. I'm Scott A. Yates, and I'm really happy to be here today. I'm feeling a lot better. A lot of that, like, just kind of like a heavy feeling that I've been having has lifted. Um, I'm feeling much better nowadays. How are you feeling, Cherie?
I'm doing good tonight. It's hot but beautiful. I love summer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's the rainy season here, and it's been actually pretty pleasant. I have actually have a friend in town.
Yeah, how's he doing?
He's getting settled in. He's a very unusual character, as you can imagine. Anybody who's going to be my friend would be. Um, let me see. So he he's very knowledgeable on the straw man account and how all that stuff works, and sovereignty and using legalese. Like he was taught Latin in school, which boy, I wish they taught me Latin in school because that's really important to understand, you know?
Yeah,
Like
there's a lot of things they could have taught us in school if they didn't.
well, there 100 years ago everybody learned Latin in school, and
That's true.
they use that language to mess with our heads legally, and like it's on our money, e pluribus unum, from many one. What's this, sepsis, uh I can't remember the rest of it. It's like New World Order is written in Latin. But anyways, he's a really interesting guy. He's a little bit difficult to take in large doses, and I'm used to my solitude here, so it's a little bit of a uh, I'm not used to having a friend around. And but he was at the Capitol building on January 6th. What was it, 2019 or 2020, right? So the
2020.
J6, he was with the J6ers as they went into the Capitol building, but he was there as a objective observer, or a citizen journalist, because he's an anarchist. He doesn't vote. He doesn't believe in voting. He he and he went there just to record it, and unfortunately he got caught up in it. And I don't know exactly why he went into the Capitol building. I would imagine if I were there, I would have got caught up in the excitement. I would have done the same thing, possibly. But as a result of it, he's suffered a great deal, and he's finally had enough, because they've been targeting, the local police have been targeting him. He's being surveilled by the FBI constantly. They threw him in prison a couple of times. They knocked out his teeth. He said it's worse in those gulag prisons in DC than you could possibly imagine. He says there's underground dungeons there. It look like they've been there for 100 years.
Oh my gosh.
And I'd really like to interview him about it, but I'm not sure he could keep me from getting a strike on YouTube, because I'm not sure he could censor himself well enough to do it. But
Yeah.
he's a really interesting guy, and he is a friend. I've known him for years. We've only met twice in person, but he lived in China for 20 years too. Anyways, it's really nice to have a friend around, as unique a person as he is. And so it's nice. I don't feel so isolated anymore, even though sometimes I kind of want my privacy a little bit more now. But he's learning to give me space.
Oh, that's good. And it's nice to have somebody there that you can be buddies with and go out for a beer and, just spend a little bit of time, not a whole bunch of time, but some time together.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I have a strategic game. It's kind of like chess. It's a board game, but it's similar to chess. And I finally have someone to play with. Yeah, and we went out for a beer that night, and we tend to get into heated arguments sometimes, but we've been friends long enough. We know how to do it without it getting, you know,
Physical.
not, I was gonna say too heated. My biggest complaint about him, and I think he's coming around, is he's been more of a doom and gloom kind of person, you know? And it's like, oh, by the way, 29 people watching. Hi, everybody. I'm glad you're all here. I'm going to come over to the chat and say hello in a minute. I'm just chatting a little bit, give some people to come online because I really have some amazing news for you about Medbeds. Some of it you've heard before, but some of it's going to be news. And this is all from Tina, my benefactor. Anyways, um, just to finish up with Eric, and so it's good to have a good friend here. Um, it's I'm not used to having somebody around, but it's nice. All right, so let's see. Tug of Light. Hello, Sandy. I'm nice to see you there, Sandy. Seemed like last time I didn't see you there much. Logical Spark. Great name. I love your name. Q will
Yeah.
be Q. Will the med beds? Oh, question. Okay, you're a question. I'm going to come to those later. And Russ. Hey, Russ. How you doing? And everybody else out there. I see you coming in one by one because we did start a little bit early, right? Than what I had it marked as later than my usual time of 8:30 for me. Where's my water? Mm. Hey, people are finding us now. We got more people coming on. Hello, Tom. Tom Paulin. All right. So, are you ready to get to these emails, Cherie?
Oh, yes. I definitely want to know the information you got. Very curious.
Um, Okay, yeah, we got enough people coming in now, and if you're just tuning in and you want to hear the emails from the beginning, just go back a little bit. You can go back in time and and hear the previous parts because I've got about 7 emails. They're not real long, but let's get to those. So to do that, I'm going to share my screen. Oh, you know what? I want to record this. Okay, so recording this, and this is I'm going to read for you these emails that I got. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to say. So Cherie, you got a bit of a surprise from Tina recently.
Yes, I did. It floored me. Totally floored me. I cannot
So
believe it. I
you
really,
don't mind talking about this? I can tell everybody.
yeah, you can tell everybody. I mean, all I'm asking for is positive vibes and see if it manifests. Same with you.
Yeah.
You know,
So a couple of days ago, I get an email from Tina, and Tina's been gifting my family members with properties and vehicles. And then she says, you know, Scott, Cherie has been such a good friend for you and she's helped you out so much. I'd like to gift her a property as well. And was there a vehicle involved in there? I think she said a vehicle as well, right, Cherie?
yes, he did, but I just laughed and said, all I would like is enough money to cherry up my bravada
Right?
because I love
Yeah.
my bravada. My bravada still loves me.
Well, I love your loyalty to your old vehicle, but I still suggest that you go ahead and accept the new one anyhow. So, you know, you keep your Bravada in the garage and drive it on weekends, and then drive the other one to work. That way, you'll keep your Bravada even longer, right?
Yeah, true, but I don't know. She may get mad at me because I put her in the garage.
Okay.
She's
Well,
used to driving me home,
if you want during our next session, we can ask her. Did you have a name for your Bravada?
She's still my bitch, but she's my bitch.
Okay. Well, you know, I believe everything has consciousness, and if you want, we can ask your Bravada how she would feel about it. But
Okay, sounds really good.
but yeah, I was delighted to hear that, and all we needed was your name, right? That's the only information you gave me to give her. Well, I know you provided some other information, but that was all she asked. Anyways, so I was really happy to hear that, and now it's. Oh, and by the way, remember when I read the part where it said every property comes with a med bed for every room. You remember that?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Okay, actually,
Which
that's in the
kind?
email, so maybe I'll just wait and get to this. So without further ado, let me get over to the emails. And to do that, I'm going to have to share my screen. Oh, first I want to play this. Share with sound.
Said to the nation, within a year's time or so, almost all hospital procedures will be obsolete.
I just want to make sure you can hear this over there, Cherie. Is that right?
Well, I can hear it on Zoom. Let me go to
Got the volume
Facebook and
turned up all the way. Let me check the volume here. Okay. All right. So let me start it.
yep, it was coming through on Facebook or YouTube, excuse me.
Okay. All right. So let me play this short video real quick.
Deep. Trump on June 14th said to the nation, within a year's time or so, almost all hospital procedures will be obsolete. Every city will have many medical beds and Tesla chambers capable of healing and repairing DNA along with curing all ailments. Designed to address chronic pain and anxiety and other illnesses, Medbeds combine advanced technology to provide instant relief from illnesses. They not only provide the comfort and restful sleep, but also improve your physical and mental well-being. It's been trialing for a couple of years, and now soon to be released by Char, no longer suppressed program. These medbeds will be able to diagnose your body's systems so you can return to optimal health. These medbeds will be able to scan your entire body using anything from an X-ray or MRI, and then will be able to heal the cells and tissues in your body once it has found the underlying cause.
All right. That's that. So I just wanted to start off a little video right there in case might be some people out there who never heard of med beds, and I thought that was a nice little informative video just to start off with. Oops. All right. So go back to find my emails. All right. So I put these in order how I want to read them. This
Okay.
one first. Okay. So I don't want to read every word because some of this is not pertinent. But let's see. So what she did here is she's on a Telegram group and there's a question and answers that she's getting from it's okay to give the name. She didn't tell me I couldn't. So this woman Helen Lofthouse, who's like one of the administrators in this ICO, initial coin offering. And so she says, hi, and this one's addressed directly to Tina, but some of them are addressed to other people in the group. Thank you, Tina, for your beautiful, heartfelt message. Yes, you absolutely can still purchase more MedBed tokens. And I want to get to the good stuff. As for the clinical details you and others are asking, dimensions. Okay, so this is important stuff. The advanced
Mm-hmm.
med beds are approximately 2.5 meters in length, 1.2 meters in width. For those of you who don't know, a meter is about a yard. People always get confused by it, but it's easy to remember. A meter is, I think, like 3 inches short of a yard or something like that. But this may slightly vary depending on the batch. we will provide final specs at the time of shipping. Voltage. They are globally adaptable, operating dual voltage support, 110 to 240, and will be configured depending on your country. Installation. Yes, they arrive in modular form with professional teams handling full setup and calibration. Setup typically takes 2 to 3 hours per unit. Really fast, huh?
Yeah.
Delivery schedule. Char is one of the people in the group. Char has indeed submitted over 600 names, addresses, and details. We are now sequencing all deliveries, starting with those who have tier 4, 2,500 tokens or more. Medbed holdings, and working our way down. The process is ongoing and everyone will receive notice prior to delivery. Your gifts to Jennifer Wilson have also been noted. Tina, you're doing extraordinary work, and I want to just read the stuff that's pertinent. Okay, so that's the first one. And let's see. ASX, that's like the part of this group that's doing this. Okay, so team size for medbeds. We recommend a minimum ratio of one trained attendant per 3 to 5 medbeds, especially in the beginning. For clinics with advanced configurations, age regeneration, and regenerative models, that can shift to 1 to 2 depending on the complexity of each session. For centers with 20 med beds, a base team of 6 to 10 well-trained staff would be ideal, with rotating shifts and wellness coverage for staff too. Now, you notice, Sheree, they're talking about a lot of med beds coming out, you know?
Yeah, I've heard that there is a lot of med beds in storage warehouses up in Canada and here in the United States in bases that are no longer being used. So by what I've
Mm-hmm.
gathered online, there's a lot of them already made.
Well, I'm going to get to that point in a minute, but
Okay.
and why I was saying when you said it seems too many, one for each room, but we're going to need a lot of med beds, right? There are millions, billions of people possibly who are going to be using them.
Oh,
Okay,
definitely.
so yes, we will be releasing the official ASX MedBed signage package, including information posters, logos, printed and digital use, plaques to display on the clinic walls, short pamphlets about the technology,
Oh,
messaging guidance so you can share safely and clearly. You're absolutely right. We are being very careful in what we say publicly, and we appreciate your understanding while that unfolds. The Chevron deference reversal will shift everything. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, so our delivery timing. We are right at the door now. Card deliveries are rolling out, and final back end is being reviewed. And once the flip happens, MedBeds dispatch begins. So cards, she's talking about ATM cards, debit cards, and I've already
oh,
seen where some people are getting those, and they're getting their PIN numbers with them, and stuff is happening. I've been seeing. I've got other emails from Tina about those. Okay. Now, see, she doesn't. Sometimes the problem is she doesn't tell me what the question was, so I just kind of figure it out. Cookie is another investor. She has a question. Your questions aren't weird at all. In fact, they're thoughtful and deeply appreciated, especially as more of you prepare to integrate these technologies into your local communities. Let's walk through each one. Okay, she does have the question. Or well, yeah, see, we don't know what the question. Anyways, question one, smart contracts and house transition timing. You're right. Smart contracts finalize extremely fast, within 24 hours. However, to prevent awkward situations, this is talking about how if there's people still living in the houses you purchase. In most cases, occupants are given 7 to 10 days to transition. That means to clear out of the house. If it's been like if they're renting a house that's been sold, you'll be
Mm.
notified once the property is cleared and secured. You won't receive keys until the home is officially vacated and ready. Okay. So we're handling it carefully, humanely, in a way that respects both sides and ensures you walk into your home worry-free. Question two, standard med bed usage flexibility. This is an excellent question. And yes, the standard med beds can work in shorter time increments. Here's how it breaks down. The full standard protocol is 20 total hours of treatment. Normally, it's 5 sessions of 4 hours each, but it can absolutely be split into more manageable sessions 10, 10 sessions, 2 hours, or 20 sessions, 1 hour. Each unit tracks the user's biosignature and healing progress automatically. So even if someone comes every day, every other day, the machine knows where to pick up and continue. For your town's needs, offering shorter accessible sessions is a brilliant approach. These machines are intuitive and built for real world flexibility, especially in outreach settings like yours. Your community is lucky to have you. Let me know if you'd like to reserve more units in that location. I have flipped. I don't really want to share particular addresses, but anyways, so that's that one. Okay, and if you have a question, please chime in.
Well, it's like Letty is saying, I thought they weren't electrical because it works off of energy. But I think by that time, aren't we going to have the Tesla energies being set up?
Well, let me point out that electricity is energy, okay,
That's
and that everything is electromagnetic. Our bodies run on an electromagnetic system. That's how
right.
it's bioelectric, right? So and yes, what you said, Sri, is what I expect to happen at the same time, even though I haven't heard anything about it here. Right, it's going to be the free energy that we get through the luminiferous ether. That's where that's like what fills the space around us, and that's what Tesla discovered. And by the way, there's a link between those energies and the machines because Tesla discovered that as well. I just realized when I sleep, my necklace falls around back, and I never even got it back out. I just woke up an hour ago. Okay, so yeah, um, and electricity is electricity. The voltage thing, like here in Thailand, we run on 220, and in the U.S. it's on a 110. That's just the frequency of the electricity. But electricity is electricity, and it's all power, and that's the main point is that they do run on electricity, right? Okay,
True,
so
true.
thank you, and thank you for the questions, and keep them coming if I need to clear something up. Okay,
Yep.
so chomping at the bit. Okay, so this is chomping at the bit, investors' questions and answers from Helen Watkins. Okay. Hi everyone. As I speak with relatives and friends about advanced medbed technology, as you can imagine, we have likely experienced have likely experienced yourselves, aside from looking at you incredulously, their questions are numerous and sadly my answers are few and inadequate because I just don't know what I don't know. These are the 13 most frequently asked I get, and I asked Helen, please answer them. And this was her response that I got this afternoon. Hi, Chompin. Thank you for your heartfelt message and thoughtful questions, and especially your prayers. I genuinely appreciate them. You have such a deep commitment to understanding and serving others. I can see how much love and purpose drives everything you do. Let's go through your questions together. Let's go through everything together. Referral bonus. Yes, if you refer someone and they purchase at least 500 tokens, then you will receive 5 times the multiplier. I'm going to move on. Debt forgiveness. Oh, okay. So for your wife, yes, absolutely. Student loans, blah blah blah, to proceed. So it seems like if you have your own house and you get the med bed, then they're gonna forgive your debt or they're gonna cancel your mortgage. That's part of the deal.
Oh,
Okay, I want to move on from there. Now, regarding the advanced medbed questions, they're really excellent questions, and many people are likely wondering the same things. I'll respond to each clearly. Okay, so this is where we might learn some things new that we didn't know. When will the advanced medbed sessions begin? The rollout begins after wallet syncing and asset delivery, which we are finalizing right now. Once your med beds are delivered, the first diagnostic sessions will be scheduled via a secure platform tied to your token ID. Healing scope. Can it cure major illnesses? Yes. The advanced medbed systems are designed to identify and reverse root causes, not just manage symptoms. This includes, but not limited to, type 2 diabetes, all stages of cancer, cardiovascular diseases, arthritis, and autoimmune disorders. Each case is unique, but full emissions and remissions and reversals are often achieved. Often, but not perfect, I suppose. Age regression built into advanced med beds. Yes, age regression is a core feature of the advanced med beds. No separate unit is required. Age regression, frequency and effect. Age regression can go back up to 30 to 50 years, depending on the individual's desire. Effects may take days or weeks to fully settle in after each session. 2 to 3 sessions spaced out are often optimal for full rejuvenation. Physical restoration. Yes, it includes hair growth. Yay! Regrowth.
yay.
Skin
Hallelujah.
regeneration. Wrinkles go away. Reproductive restoration. Vasectomies and hysterectomies reversed. That could be a problem if you don't want it. I guess if you're a man and you got a vasectomy and you don't want it, you better be careful there. But
Well,
this
by
just
what I
gave me a
gather,
thought.
something like that you don't have to have undone. You have
Yeah,
choices.
yeah. Well, I guess you could always get it redone. But anyways, this got me thinking reproductive restoration. If we go through this event and a lot of people disappear off this earth because they were never really here to begin with, we're going to need to repopulate it. So imagine people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s having more children. Fertility returns within weeks to a few months, depending on DNA readiness. So, you ladies and gentlemen, ladies out there who maybe, like my sister, she never was able to have her own children. Okay.
Oh,
Lifespan and age regression. You did I miss anything? For no. You may age regress multiple times, though it usually is done once every few decades, as the body will naturally again, will age naturally again after many years. Emotional and mental healing. Yes, trauma, PTSD, anxiety, and emotional imbalances are addressed. Emotional clarity and inner peace are often among the first results seen. Maintenance sessions. Yes, after healing, a 1 or 2 session every 1 or 2 years is typically recommended for tune-ups and preventative care. Oral health.
Hmm.
Here's another one I'm particularly interested in. Teeth regrow naturally, including implants dissolving safely, crowns and bridges being replaced by natural aligned teeth. No orthodontist needed. They grow in perfect alignment. That would be nice.
That would be great.
I'm just wondering though, would you have to go like, it's going to take some time for them to grow back. So during that transition period, you're not going to have like I wouldn't have my dentures, but yet my teeth wouldn't be quite ready to eat with. So I guess I'd be eating mashed
Soft
potatoes.
food, soft foods for a while. Yep.
Yeah. But it'd be worth it to have good teeth back.
Amen.
Memory and identity. Yes, you retain all knowledge, wisdom, and life experience. Only your body regresses. I guess that's a good question. I hadn't thought about that. Not your mind.
Mm.
Uh, no awkward teenage years return, just youthful vitality and full awareness. 11. Spiritual connection. Your soul identity and connection to God are not just preserved, they're enhanced. Most report feeling a deeper alignment, purpose, and divine clarity, which I don't know if that's like a product of the machine. I think that would just happen naturally because you have this youthfulness and this, like more
think-
energy and a brighter outlook on life.
And I think without all the poisons in our systems that they've been feeding us and everything all through the years, it will open up naturally our third eye, which is our God connection.
Hmm.
So if that's healed, we'll just naturally be in line with the God within, the God spark, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
that we have now that they've poisoned.
And DNA changes. So, our DNA is like an antenna that connects with the spirit world. So
Exactly.
DNA changes, yes, but only to restore your original perfected blueprint, removing damage and mutations. It doesn't alter who you are, it restores who you were always meant to be. Knowledge uploads. Now this is like the Matrix where he needs to fly a helicopter and he gets the knowledge upload. This is
Hmm.
pretty amazing. Knowledge uploads. Yes, advanced users will be able to download entire skill sets, including languages, sciences, and trades. You can become fluent in medicine, engineering, and other fields instantly. As the technology emerges, neural pathways with higher intelligence fields. Okay,
I can, I can, yeah, that I like.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
I'm
when
gonna
I'm
I'm gonna take
finally
a pause
able,
for a minute and take a look at the what's going on in the comments. What was that, Sheree?
I can't wait to actually be able to retire. And then I want to have downloaded languages. So if I decide to go to Egypt, I
Hmm.
can speak the language, or France, and I can speak the language. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's some wild stuff. Okay, I see. It's funny. Serena says something here. I lose track of time in the summer. It stays light until 11 p.m. Oh, I could
Yep.
not handle that, Serena. I was just in Florida where it doesn't get dark until after 8. And because it gets dark here around 6:37, now it was really messing me up. But
That's why I
also,
learned.
has anybody else been experiencing? Oh, I'm not sharing the screen, am I? But has anybody else been experiencing accelerated time recently? I mean, like really accelerated. I mean, like my days go by so quickly now. It's weird. So I'll just let you guys mention in the comments. Sheree, have you been noticing anything like that? More than
Oh,
usual in just the past couple of weeks.
my weekends, even with working 50 hours straight, the time is going by so fast. It's almost like I was there Friday and it's already Sunday and time to go home. It's, yeah, it's been flying.
I could understand that if you're busy working like you are, but I'm here where, I don't have much going on. It's just like I can't believe it. It's like I look at my watch, it's 3 o'clock already. Holy cow.
No, but on
See.
weekends, the girls and I don't do a whole lot because, they're rushing around all week. So I kind of do a laid back weekends. But it's like I get them up, get them breakfast, and the next thing I know, it's already time for lunch. And then we do a little bit of laundry or something. And next thing I know, it's already time to cook supper. And I'm going, where'd the day go?
Hmm.
We haven't done a whole lot, but the day flew by anyway.
So Russ has an interesting comment here. It sounds like he knows somebody who's using the medbed.
Yeah, I
Through
see
Sim
that.
through Simply Lynn's morning show, I don't know Simply Lynn. I was able to I was able to get a I was able to get a crippled woman in Oregon to low-end military bed. The average healing takes 3 to 4 hours. The better bed that heals in half hour requires ASX coins. So Russ knows about this. These low-end
Yeah.
beds don't age regress. Yeah, that's what's in my emails too, Russ. Yes, it revitalizes your cells according to the etheric blueprint. Okay, so this is Russ. Yeah, are you saying you knew someone, a crippled woman that you actually got her into a med bed? Is that what you're saying? I mean, this is still secondhand because I don't personally know Russ, and he's talking about somebody that he knows. But is that true, Russ? And yes,
That's
time is speeding up. It's crazy fast. Oh, and then Adrian is talking about the Earth speeding up, and could that affect time? Yeah, I'll have to look more into that. She is supposed to receive the med bed in 1 week. All right, Russ. Great. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so I got a couple more emails to read. Hope you guys are enjoying these. And I want to thank Tina for sharing them with me. And I'm really happy to be able to share them with you guys.
Well, it shows that things are happening. We knew it was going to, but it's nice to have the confirmation that it is.
Uh-huh. Um, Hold on, I am sharing. Before I get to the next email, I'd like to remind you guys that I'm available for private readings, and now would be a really good time because I have a lot of time on my hands, and my bank account is almost empty. Um, as a matter of fact, I haven't changed on their website now, but I would like to offer anybody, if you're a first time client, if you have never had a reading with me before and you've been thinking about it, um, I'd like to offer you a 50% discount. Okay. Um, for one thing, if you've never had a reading, and maybe you've never had a reading before, so you don't know if you would like it, you don't know if it's worth it, so you don't want to spend the full, you don't want to pay full price. I'd like to offer you a 50% discount. That way you get your first time reading with me or first time ever. And when you have a reading with me and you see how it really works and that it's the real deal, then maybe you'll want to come back and I'll have you as a client for life, I hope. Um, so yeah, I'm going to repeat that. If you've never been a client with me before and you'd like to have your first time ever reading, I'll give you a 50% discount. Okay. So let me show you. Um, you can find a link to my website in the description, or if one of my admins could post it in the chat, that would be really nice. Um, Stacy
Yay,
hasn't been
Sandy.
around. lately because she's been out traveling, having some fun with some other people. So she's not here. What was that, Sheree?
Hopefully Sandy or somebody can do that for you since I'm not in front of the computer.
Yeah, I know, I know it's not easy for you to do it. So yeah, Sandy, if you could grab a link to my website and post it in the chat, I'd appreciate it. So so yeah, if you come to my chat, you come over here to bookings. My fees right now are $50 for 30 minutes, $85 for 60 minutes, and then 10 minutes for every or $10 for every 10 minutes past 1 hour. So slash this in half. If you've never had a reading with me, then you can pay just $25 for 30 minutes. You're not going to find a better deal on the internet, by the way, or anywhere else for that matter. I would like you to please join the Telegram group if you want to sign up, because this will make communications easier rather than doing emails back and forth. Because sometimes just to clear up time zones and things like that. Uh, you come over here to book here, and this will take you directly to my booking site. And all the times here will appear in your local time. Okay, so if it says it starts at 7:30 p.m., that's your time. Um, okay, so you book there, you put in the time and date that you want. Um, you can pay by coming to buy me a coffee, and you click here, and I'll take you to buy me a coffee, and you come over here to well, let me do that this way. So you can put in 135. You can type in as many coffees as you need. One coffee is $5. Then you type in your email address. Okay. And that's how you can pay me via buy me a coffee. All right. Or I have other ways to pay. You can use PayPal, Zelle, or Cash App as well. All right. And that's all I need to talk about there, I think. That about clears that up, right? Sherry, any questions?
Yep. No, that Zillow is real simple now that you taught me how to use it, and my bank has it available. It makes it real simple now. I don't have to count on my fingers. 5, 10, 15, 20.
Right. And right now, if it's uh, okay with, I mean, I would prefer people use Zelle or PayPal right now because I've got less than $100 in my bank account, and I, I need to get that back up. Okay. Um, this is the first time I've had a Bank of America account, and when it got under $100, they sent me a warning. They said your bank account is dangerously low. It's funny because my Thai bank account does that when I have like $10 in it.
Oh,
But okay, so share screen once again. All right, back to the emails. And what do you guys think about these emails? Tell me in the chat what your thoughts are. Okay, we've got a few left here. Questions and answers from Helen Lofthouse. Now, I'm going to tell you, I admit that some of these answers sound like they're AI generated, which may be the case because she probably has a lot of them. Maybe she's just using an AI. Just the way they're worded to me, they sound like AI. Either that or that's just the way Helen actually speaks. So, hi,
okay.
Terry. Thank you so much for your thoughtful message. Let me see, do I want to read all of this? You're absolutely right. The med beds. Okay, yeah, all right. Everything you're doing from choosing the right properties to preparing your home for delivery shows how beautiful caring shows beautiful caring care and readiness. You're absolutely right. The med bed and vans will depend on the final confirmed property list. So once those are fully locked in, we'll confirm placement and prepare the van dispatch if applicable. I've noticed your request for 2 commercial properties. That's incredibly wise, especially if you're planning to help others to or manage wellness centers. For every for As for delivery of keys and contracts, you can absolutely list Fred as a co-receiver. I think I want to skip ahead here. Okay, now to the medbed questions, which are deeply important. Metal replacement parts. The advanced med beds will gradually begin to the regeneration of original bone, tissue, and cartilage, and over time, the body will no longer need the metal implants. The metal won't be pushed out suddenly or dangerously. The bed works at a safe and cellular level, and the metal either dissolves naturally or is safe removed via energy conversion once the body is healed. That's hard to wrap my head around, but interesting. Regarding your brother-in-law who was born blind, yes, there is hope. The advanced med bed does not rely on past diagnoses. It reads the DNA blueprint and corrects it to full perfection. Even lifelong conditions such as congenital blindness have the potential to be reversed. We've been told this includes full natural regeneration, optic nerve correction, and even vision restoration. If the soul agrees, the person is ready. That's interesting. If the soul agrees, that decision is always in divine agreement. Hey, that could be good news for your brother.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Not
this is
only
interesting. If your soul agrees, the person is right. I think it could be really difficult for someone who was born blind to suddenly be given vision. That could drive somebody mad.
not unless it's a slow process where they get the shadows first. It's kind of like my brother, the way he lost his sight in his right eye. He said at first he could see colors, but not shapes, and then it went down to shadows, and now it's down to nothing. So if they reverse that process, maybe you get the shadows first and then start seeing some colors and shapes before you get the full sight back.
Mhm.
So I'm sure they've got a way where they can do it slowly. It's like my one grandson who was born with the heart problems. You know, they can fix all that. He'd be able to play football and basketball, and that would be great because it's things that he's never been able to do because of his heart problems.
Okay, so this is for Char, of the investment chat. Hi, sweet soul. Good afternoon, and huge congratulations on reaching 2,501 MedBed tokens. That's an incredible milestone. This is where it sounds like AI to me. That's an incredible milestone, and yes, we are now officially eligible for advanced medbed units, mobile medbed units, debt forgiveness. See, this goes along with the medbeds. If you get a medbed, you get debt forgiveness. Medbed hospitals and full room installations, gifting rights to family and humanitarian projects. And yes, we can absolutely arrange to have one advanced med bed delivered to one of the properties you submitted. Just let me know which property you'd like it delivered to, and I'll personally tag it. So this is what I want to get to before. So, for example, I'm supposed to be getting a 4-bedroom house. I shouldn't say supposed to. I am getting a 4-bedroom house. And
Like,
so that could come with a med bed in each room. Well, I don't need 4 med beds in that house. And I believe when you brought this up, Cherie, and after I read this is what I believe they're doing. I can then take each one of those med beds and give it to a friend, and he can put it in his house, and then his friends and family can use it. You understand? This is
Mm-hmm.
how they're getting these med beds all over the place. So I'm only one person, but I'm getting 4 med beds for that house, plus what however many med beds will be with my
Rescue,
sanctuary,
animal
my
rescue.
animal rescue.
Yeah.
So now you understand why they put 4 med beds in each house?
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Yes, you can absolutely arrange to have one advanced med bed delivered to one of the properties you've submitted. And that's like somebody else's house. Just let me know which property you'd like it delivered to first, and I'll personally tag it for priority wave one deployment. Medbed manufacturing info. This is a great question, and I can share a little. The med beds are not manufactured by a public facing company. They are developed through classified humanitarian tech programs that were declassified for release through the ICO. The core technology originates from military and space medicine programs. What we're using is a civilian adapted version of what was previously used in off world and classified healing environments. You ever see the movie Elysium?
Nope.
Production is handled in secure, decentralized medical tech facilities, mainly across US, Europe, and Southeast Asia, where I live.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that interesting? But they are assembled per region for quicker delivery. Because of security and duplication risk, the exact manufacturing name isn't disclosed, but I can assure you each bed is verified, authenticated, and customized before shipping. I remember seeing a photograph, Cherie. I don't know if it was photoshopped, real, or whatever, of like a warehouse or some kind of big building in America that said med beds out in front of it. Have you ever seen that?
I've heard of quite a few people that say that they have access to it and they are just waiting for the go to go where the med beds are to start accepting people. But it's been a while since I've seen or heard anything about that. But yeah, I've heard of that. Oh, probably last
Uh,
year or so.
the photograph of like a place where they are building med beds. I've
Yep.
seen that somewhere. Okay. Let
Yep.
me okay, and so that's the end of that one.
I've seen pictures where Trump was standing next to a whole line of med beds too that were being built.
Hold on a
So, like
second.
you said, I don't know if they're true or if they're generated, but I've seen pictures. Yeah.
Why are these once I open them, which ones have I read already? Terry and Beth chomping at the bit. We read that one. Did we read this one? Yeah, they're not marked red. Okay, this is the one we just read, right? This was the most recent one I just read.
Hmm.
I thought I had more here. Yeah, okay. I don't know why they're not showing you as red. Okay, let's go to this one. Oh, I see. This is the one I have not read yet. I only have 2 left. Good morning, beloved family. I got a response from Helen to a unique question. I asked Helen, why is there a narrative going around that military grade med beds can be used as a weapon? Here's her response. So I never really thought of this before, right?
No kidding.
Now to your question about military grade med beds and concerns about them being used as a weapon. Let's talk openly and honestly. There is some truth to the idea that in the wrong hands, earlier versions of this technology could be misused. Just like any powerful tool, it all depends on who is programming it, controlling the frequency, and determining the outcome. That is why, for decades, this technology was kept classified, not just to hide it from the public, but because certain versions were designed with agendas that had nothing to do with healing. They were not true med beds. They were imitation frequency chambers, some built for manipulation, control, and even harm under false pretenses. That's why the delay in public rollout wasn't just about timing or logistics. It was about purifying the system, reclaiming the original intention, and making sure that what's released to the world is pure, benevolent, and soul aligned. What's different now? The advanced med beds being rolled out through this program have been recalibrated to source aligned frequency, programmed only to read and act upon a person's original divine blueprint, safeguarded by quantum authentication, meaning it can't be hijacked or corrupted, protected through layers of intentional contracts and light-based encryption. So while yes, the concerns were once valid in a different era, what's being released now is part of a global healing mission that could never be weaponized without safe destruct without self-destructing. That's the divine safeguard that was built in. So if one were tried they were trying to weaponize one now, it would just like sort itself out. And by the way, this is evidence that like what we've been saying, I know Honey and I have been saying this for quite some time, that the war's over, guys. Um, for the most part, there's nothing left but like the minions, the body of the creature is still writhing after the head's been cut off, basically, and that's why they're able to roll out these med beds now.
Hallelujah.
So recently, my buddy Eric, the one I mentioned before, he's trying to help me increase my clientele. And so he introduced me to a friend of his who was also who was not also because Eric was not a J6er. You understand? He was not there to protest to try to overthrow the election. He was there as an observer. But one of his people he met like in prison was a J6er, and he when I first talked to him, he said a lot of the same things that Honey and I used to talk about on the show, right? But then when I met him and I started, getting to know him better, he's a complete doomer. He thinks that there's still things going on underground with like adrenochrome harvesting and all these other like really wicked things going on. And there's a possibility that maybe there's some pockets somewhere where they've been able to keep some vestige of what they were doing before, but 90% of it, I'm telling you, has been cleared out. And to keep staying in that mentality, that victim fear and anger mentality, which when I spoke to this guy, that's where he was at. When I tried to tell him that we were past that, he got defensive of it, like it's almost like he loves his own misery so much he can't see that we are past that. So if you know people like that, I suggest limit your time around those people. Like Eric was telling me, this guy is wealthy and he could bring me a lot of clients, and he might pay me $300 a session. After speaking to him, I said I can't be around that kind of energy. I don't care how much business he brings me or how much he wants to pay me per session. I cannot. For one thing, he wouldn't respond to my readings would not resonate with him.
Right.
because they don't feed into his fear and acknowledge his fear and his anger, you know. So I didn't know that there were still people like that around. I thought everybody had, gotten past that. But I don't spend much time on other types of websites, especially and nothing against the guy, but just for example, Jason Q and people like him,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
I worked with
Some people.
I did about 10 interviews with Jason Q. Each interview was about 3 hours long. And during that
Yeah.
time, I got about 1,000 new subscribers because of that. But a lot of the people in the chat were not nice people. They would attack me sometimes for things that I said. They accused me of trying to just monetize Jason, which because I was happy about my videos with him would earn a lot of money. So I mentioned that, and they accused me of being, greedy, basically, which if they didn't know me, if they thought that, right? Anyways, I had a lot of negativity from those kinds of people. I want to say they're far right kind of people, you know. Anyhow, um, it's time to get over that. The war is
Yes,
over. We won,
we
and
have one.
and I
This is
think
just a rollout.
and this is the final real world sign we've been waiting for. When I get this house, when I get these cars, when I make that video, live video, I'm going to do it live. I'm going to record myself with my key walking up to my front door, opening that door. I'm going to show you my Lexus. I'm going to show you these other things that I get. When this happens and you see that med bed in there, finally people are going to be able to have the solid proof evidence that they need, and that's when things are going to begin. There might be a blackout EBS before then, I'm thinking.
They keep saying that, yeah. There's still a blackout EBS planned,
Well,
which I
you
think
follow. I'm sorry, Sheree. You follow what's his name? The one guy who I really like, still like Phil
still. Mm-hmm.
Phil Godleski.
Yep.
Um, he would agree with what I'm saying, right? That for the most part, the cabal has been vanquished.
Yes.
Mhm.
And he keeps saying that we're just watching the movie play out. And there's just certain things that have to happen in a certain order because we are still going after the minions. We're still
Right.
weeding out the sleepers and the underhanded ones, like what's going on with Bongino and Cash Patel and Bondi right now. It's showing more of the uh, underhanded, backstabbing minions in the background that we're still going after.
Mhm.
But like Phil said, what we're really waiting for is them not being able to suppress the silver prices anymore, which will bring down the banks, which after what happened on Friday with silver uh, closing out over $1.50 up, and they weren't able to suppress it by closing bell on Friday. The banks actually, for every dollar that silver goes up, the banks lose $6 million, which is going to bring down the banks, which is going to bring in the gold backed, and we're on a roll. Yeah.
Oh,
So
so yeah, I didn't know any of this until you told me about this yesterday. So $1.50, that's a lot, huh? For silver to go up that much?
yep. Yeah, it moves
You
up and down 50 cents, 70 cents, and then it'll close down, maybe 30 cents more than the day before. And the next day, then it's down 2 cents or 3 cents from the day before. So it bounces up and down. And every time silver goes up, you can see the stock market is down. So then they have to come in and they have to suppress silver again to get it to go down so the stock market goes up. So it's this game we've been playing with silver for years. but got positive vibes off of what happened on Friday, and like Phil said, watch to see what happens on Monday and Tuesday, because either silver's going to take off and the banks are going to really crash, or the banks are going to come up with some kind of false flag to take us away from looking at silver so that they can try and suppress it again. So this next week is going to be very interesting. And with them putting up fences, unscalable fences around the White House and the Fed building in Washington this weekend, it shows that they're getting ready for something.
Yeah. Okay, I did, and I just posted the link to my website in the chat.
Yes.
And if you see the pinned message, the one that's all in white, that's if you want to send me a question. So if you want to send questions, I'll get to your questions. How long have we been on? Quite a while already. So I would really appreciate your questions. I'm asking for 2 coffees or around $10 to ask your question. And I'm just checking the chat here if there's anything else from you guys. Hello, Deborah. And yes, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Okay. And I have a couple more emails to read here.
Okay.
One more. And then hopefully you guys have some questions for me. And once again, I'm gonna tell you, if you are a first-time client, you've never had a reading with me before, and you'd like to give it a try, I'm offering you a 50% discount. Okay, so ordinarily, share this one more time with you guys before I read this last email. Then hopefully you'll have some questions for me. Mhm. So one last time, I'm going to show you here. You come to book here. Right now, my fees are $50 for 30 minutes. This is my regular fees. $85 for 60 minutes, and 10 minutes for every $10 for every 10 minutes past 1 hour. Cut these in half. So only $25 for 30 minutes. What's that? $42.50 or $42 for 60 minutes and so on. All right, so I would really appreciate that because I haven't been getting much work. Don't know why. Sri, it's been really strange how all of a sudden this time of year I've had like 2 clients in past 3 weeks. That's never happened to me. Well, not in the past couple of years anyway.
Well, like you said, not usually this time of year. Usually this time of year, people are being hold and having readings.
But my
So
my sister who's a beautician, she tells me her business always slows down in the summertime. The summertime's slow for so maybe that's what it is. Anyhow, this is the last email I have that Tina sent me. Chantel, investor, questions and answers from Helen Lofthouse. This was just last Monday or 14th of July.
that's tomorrow.
Why does it say Monday the 14th of July? Anyways, here's the message I received from Helen today. Hi, beautiful Chantel. Thank you for your thoughtful message. As always, your heart shines through with every word. You're building something powerful and purpose-driven, and I'm honored to help walk with you through it all. Let's go through each part carefully. So I guess she chose the questions to put in here because there's something missing. It starts with 2. Military grade med beds for humanitarian projects. Yes, you're approved. Because you're a registered nurse and regenerative health practitioner with a plan to build medbed hospitals, wellness retreats, and holistic support centers, Your project qualifies for military-grade advanced med beds. These are capable of full regenerative healing in 30 minutes or less, address autoimmune neurological, cancer, genetic, and trauma-based conditions, can be requested for hospital installations, mobile units, and community centers. By the way, they're going to have these vans that are equipped with them, so people in remote areas will be able to get them. I've marked your files approved for a strategic deployment, and once rollout begins, I'll support you directly in designing your centers, choosing bed types, and training practitioners for protocols. Number 5, we skipped to 5. Mortgage payoff via property PICS clarification. Great question. Here's how it works. If you submitted a property as part of your reward selection, it's also someone's real world mortgage. That home can be cleared without additional details, but only if you own it or gifting it to a friend or family member. Okay, so this is what I was saying before. So like if I sent a med bed to my brother, okay, who actually Tina says, I know your brother's a millionaire and doesn't need anything, but he can get a med bed.
Great.
And I guess my bro, anyway, if it goes to somebody's house and that house has a mortgage on it, then that mortgage will be forgiven because it's now a healing center. It's got a med bed in it. Something like that's the way I think I understand this.
Oh,
If you did not submit a property and just want the debt forgiveness, then the lend okay. And I want to if you did not submit a property and just want the debt forgiveness, the lender name, balance, and account reference is required. Bed types for specific conditions, recommendations. Here's what we learned so far based on internal reports, pre-deployment trials, and military data. Type 1. Type 1 diabetes, best addressed with pancreatic regeneration medbed, often combined with DNA cleansing protocol. Cherie, this one's for you. Chronic lung infections, scarring, use pulmonary oxygenation, regenerative bed, and lymphatic flushing. Do you think that would cure your what is I can never remember the letters.
COPD. Yeah,
COPD.
yeah, just a general cleansing of my lungs would take care of my problems. I
I mean,
think.
you
I
you
feel.
probably have scarring from it and things like that.
Yeah,
So
because it's not I've had the bronchitis before and other problems in years past. So, it's probably got some scarring in there too. So,
you
yeah,
know, I
just a
mhm.
that would that would definitely help.
I said before, I don't want people asking me questions anymore about when the RV was going to happen and things like that because it's happening. And I think by questioning it, we kind of take away the energy from it because we're questioning it. I'm feeling the same way about med beds now. So like that was one of your questions during one of our sessions. Would you get med beds? Sheree, everybody's getting the med beds at some point.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they're going to be available to all of us, whether you have a healing center in town, kind of like little Sydney, Nebraska, with only 5,000, 6,000 people. There'll probably be the med beds in the old hospital because we won't need the hospital anymore. So it'll end up being a
You're
healing
you're
center.
getting a house, Sheree. You're getting a house, and well, I don't know. I guess you could. Anyways, so you'll have your own med beds, and then you can share them with other people, I guess.
Oh yeah, I'm going to share.
And
Yeah, my
then
brother
answer
is going to be one of
prioritize
the first
cell
ones.
mutation reversal bed with guided detox. Some advanced classes may take multiple sessions. Some advanced cases may take multiple sessions.
Mhm.
Okay, so even advanced cancer. Pet med beds and seizures. Yes, the advanced pet med beds are capable of identifying and reversing seizure triggers, often by repairing damaged neural patterns or inflammation caused by diet, injury, or trauma. Your dog will absolutely benefit from it, and I've marked one pet bed for your hospital if you'd like.
Oh, that's great.
Are 30 minutes always enough? Great observation. Most simple to moderate cases resolve in one session of 30 minutes. Chronic genetic or multi-layered conditions may require 2 to 4 sessions. 1 to 2 hour sessions mentioned were part of the non-mobile hospital grade beds used in special deployments or complex trauma repair. We will provide a medbed guidebook, digital and printed, and that details the beds, which beds do what, and how to match them to your clients and patients. And
That's just, that's wonderful.
that's all. I think there was one other thing I wanted to read that was specifically towards me. Yeah, right here. Tina, you are doing extraordinary work. And yes, your healing centers in Australia and New Zealand, plus your support for Scott A. Yates's Animal Project in Thailand are being recognized and blessed with every step forward. I just wanted to point that out. I like seeing my name mentioned here. And my not because I need the recognition, but because it makes me feel how real this is, you know.
Yes,
Um, I
definitely.
just have to
That's
say that I have two minds, two brains. We all do. I've talked about this before. Your left brain is your logic and reason, science, language, things like that. And your right brain is your connection with source, creator, God, spirituality, artistic ability, and creativity, and things like that. With my two separate brains, and that's what they really are. I read a book years and years and years ago called Our Two Brains. I'm able to hold two ideas at the same time. The logic part of my brain is telling me this is all ridiculous. Everything. I mean, so many of these things are like that we create our own reality and manifestation. But I've done it so many times that I know it's real. Okay. I'm just saying this stuff sounds so fantastical. I mean, like me getting a Gulfstream 700 or whatever it was, a $70 million jet. I mean, you can kind of see the possibility of getting the house, getting the car, even a Lexus, you know, the warehouse. Well, maybe, but the jet. I mean, so I'm able to hold both ideas. On my with my left brain, I say, probably ain't gonna happen. With my right brain, I said, absolutely, it's happening and it's real. Um, so I just think it's important to stay grounded, but also imagine the possibilities and know that they are also real. Anything can happen. Anything can be real. Okay. So I want to say
amen.
about
And we are learning through positive manifestation, positive attitude, positive thoughts bring positive things.
Rosebud, nothing is impossible in my world. That's what I want to hear.
Yep.
Nothing is impossible. And when you understand quantum physics, how everything really none of this exists anyway. It's all an illusion. It feels real. I mean, I can touch the wood, or my dog reacts when she hears the sound waves travel, but it's all an illusion and it all comes from consciousness. First from source consciousness, and then from your own consciousness, since you are just a a fractal image of the creator God, right?
Exactly.
We all have the ability of creation and manifestation. And that's why I'm asking all of you to help make this, to help manifest this as well. It's okay to have doubts and disbeliefs, but I'm asking you to put them aside for now, compartmentalize them, trap them away in a box, and set them on the shelf for a while. And for this time that we're here just between us, this is real. I'm telling you, I believe this brain here doesn't, it's not a belief, it's a knowing, it's an inner knowing.
And
Thank you,
I
Russ.
know that it's going to manifest, and I know it's going to come to pass. Hallelujah. And it's going to be a beautiful world out there. It may take us a while to get there, but we are getting there.
Okay, manifestation portal. Another great name. You guys have some great names in this chat. Can med can medbed heal my headache? I feel comfortable when I read anything. I feel uncomfortable when I read anything. Learning makes me feel uncomfortable. Can medbed heal learning, disability, and physical health problems? Well, from everything that I just read, and I don't have, I'm not going to do a reading with the cards on this because yes, this is one of the things that's mentioned in there is things that have to do with cognitive abilities. Absolutely. I feel pressure in my head whenever I learn anything. Well, you'll be able to learn things automatically um, with this. Gigi, thank you very much. Goal, goal. Yeah, I've just, by the way, I have disabled the super chats. You can send super stickers like the little guy yelling goal there. Um, and that's because I can get money either directly into my bank account through Zelle, Cash App, or PayPal, or buy me a coffee because I have to share whatever I make on YouTube with Google. They take 40%, and I won't get it for a month and a half or so. But thank you, Gigi. You're a sweetheart. I think that's something new for you. You figured out how to do that because I know you struggle with technologies.
Kind of like me.
So, and you can ask any questions you like in the chat. If they're about med beds, I will do them for free. If they need you know, if they're on the topic of med beds. If you have a personal question, um, and if you really can't afford it or you don't know how to send $10, put it in all uppercase. And now I just noticed I checked. Shri, I checked just before I came on to make sure that the chat was open to everybody, but it looked now I'm looking at it, I see that it looks like it's all only um members. So let me check again.
Okay.
Live
That's
chat is participant mode, anyone. Live commentary. Oh, wait a minute. Live commentary approved users. No, it should be anyone. So let me know out there, guys. Or how so it's kind of weird. I'm not seeing any chats from anybody who's not a member, but I'm sure I've got it set. My settings correct. Somebody email me if I've got it wrong. So what if I change this? Add approved. No, that's just approved members.
manifestation portal doesn't look like is a member, and they were able to.
Oh, station. You're right. Station portal doesn't have a thing. Okay. So let me change that back. Okay. No, you're right. So it's just the members who are chatting. Who can send messages? Anyone. Okay, I want to make sure I just want to make sure I didn't screw it up like I did last time because I haven't seen Lacey Blue here today. Everyone can send messages. Correct. Okay.
Serena Magic is with us. Rosebud Atkins is with us. So, and
Okay.
Gigi. So, a
Yeah.
lot of our regulars, and Russ is with us. Tug of
But you're
Light
right.
was with us.
Manifestation Portal does not have a membership. One of what the chakra. By the way, my memberships are based on the chakra colors. Start with red, orange, green. Like Serena Magic is green, so she's been with been on it for like a year. Is that right? I think green is 1 year. I don't know if it's been that long.
I don't think it's been that long yet, has it?
No, I don't think so either.
No, it hasn't been that long.
Will there
Yes,
be
and
beds for our pets? Absolutely, Serena. That's what I even read that. By the way, thank you for the other sticker somebody has sent, I think. Right? Did I see that?
yeah, Rosebud did.
Rosebud, thank you for the sticker. It's a little laughing face.
Yep, cute.
All right. Well, it gave me a lot of pleasure to bring this information to you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Um, there's a lot of people watching now. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, Renee Locke said, "Hi, thanks, Scott. Love your shows. Been watching a long time, but never have I been in chat." Well, welcome, Renee.
Oh, hi, Renee. Yeah, thanks for getting in the chat. Yeah, I would love to see. I do that a lot. When I listen, I don't get involved in the chat too much. For one thing, it goes too fast. A lot of when I listen, they go too fast. My dyslexic brain can't keep up. But yeah, come if you've been listening to me for a while and you've never said hello in the chat, I'd appreciate it. I'd like to see you come in and tell us where you are and how long have you been watching this channel. That would be interesting to know, especially those of you who have never commented before. Okay, and then yeah, Tanya says I can post a live comment. Renee, hi, thanks, Scott. Love your shows. Oh, thanks. I hate calling them shows because it's not like a show. I'm not here to entertain, but I get it. And yeah, it's a show, I guess. I mean, in a way, I am here to entertain.
I
That's
just
why.
call them. I just
Go
call them
ahead.
lives.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes I cancel lives or I don't do lives just because I'm not feeling enough positive or my vibration's not high enough. Something's got me low, like when my cat died, for example, or just I tend to be sensitive and I get in these moods and I don't want to fake it. I hate coming on here and then putting us like when I was a teacher. There were days when man I felt horrible. I'm just fed up with teaching. I can't face another classroom full of 55 screaming kids. But before I walked into that room, I would stop and I would put a big smile on my face and I would just transform myself outwardly to show that I was happy and smiling and energetic. And but I hate faking it for you guys. You know, if I come on here, I really need to be in a good mood. I need to have high energy, high frequency going, because that's what I'm here to do is share it with you guys and to give you guys some kind of, not hope, but raise your frequency. I mean, I found when I don't socialize with people on the street much here in Thailand. Keep to myself. But when I was in America, every time I met somebody, I felt compelled to share good news with them, like things are happening. I'm telling you, I could see people be receptive to it. They would seem to me to stand a little taller. They would smile, they would brighten up, and then they would thank me for giving them some encouragement and letting them know that things are not all that bad.
Which you
Okay,
did bring a lot
manifestation.
of positive things, which is
I mean,
good.
we all get right now. I'm not in the best place right now. I'm struggling to come up with enough money to pay for my visa at the end of the month. But I don't want that to sound like a complaint. I'm not complaining, and I'm really not worried because somehow I always figure out a way. Even if I can't make the deadline for the visa at the end of the month, that's not that big a deal. All I got to do is cross a border, do a border run, and I get 90 days. That so I can kick that can down the road until I have enough money for my 1 year visa. But but I got enough money to pay the bills. I got enough money to eat eat well and have a beer at the end of the day. And that's all that's
Right.
important to me.
Yep,
The
like
universe
Rosebud
has
said, you're back. Yep, the universe will get you there.
but
And if
I'm human, and I every once in a while my doubts and fears creep up a little bit more powerfully than I would like, and I just recognize them. I usually talk to somebody like Cherie um,
Mhm.
about it, and it makes me feel better, and then I get my power back.
Yep.
And we, people like I come here to empower you and to raise your frequency, but then I every once in a while I need somebody to do that for me behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you've been there for me too, and I've needed to have my energies raised up. So
Mhm.
it's the way that we keep going as a big family. And everybody here on Sundays with us all help raise our energies and our positive vibrations, and we're all here for each other. That's what counts.
Yep. All right. Well, I haven't my phone hasn't been chiming, so I don't think I've gotten any questions through Buy Me a Coffee or any of the others. Let me see. We started around 8:30. Okay, well, it's coming up on 2 hours. Um, Sheree, do you have any questions for the cards regarding general things, what's going on in the world and such? Um,
Yeah, with this thing going on with Cash Patel and Bonjoni and Pam Bondi, I've been seeing a lot of negative things about Pam Bondi online. So can we ask the cards what side she's really on?
well, first, because I don't follow any of this stuff and I didn't listen to Phil's last live, why don't you fill me in on what's going on? And I'm sure there's others who don't know either, and
It has to
educate.
do with it has to do with the Epstein files and how she put out in public that, she wanted the Epstein files on her desk and she would release them all, and then nothing happened, and then they came out, and Bonjoni and Cash Patel saying, that there is basically no list and Epstein killed himself. And so there's a lot of things going on with these Epstein files. Of course, we all know that those of us that are in the know, we all know that Epstein was taken into custody and somebody else's body was there to pretend to be suicided.
Yeah,
So,
I think we can all say that we agree that that's most likely what actually happened. Correct?
right. But now with Pam Bondi backtracking and saying, here's the video and it proves that he suicided himself, and it doesn't really show anything. And there's a minute missing out of the video. So people are speculating that she's actually on the dark side, Black Hat side, and she's doing all of this to break MAGA apart. So MAGA starts doubting Trump and doubting everything. So that's why I'm kind of wondering what the cards say about Pam Bondi.
Okay, and what is her role exactly? What does she do?
She's the AG. Um,
Attorney
she's,
General.
yeah, and
Okay.
she's the one that would bring prosecution for anybody on that list. And now they're saying there's no list, and they're saying there's the only video is of porn that he downloaded offline. So there's a bunch of, I think there's a lot of misdirection going on, but I'm really wondering if she's did this on purpose because she's on the wrong side of the fence, or if this is all just part of the show. But it's got a lot of MAGA people out there very upset and trying to go at Trump for being fake, phony, and false, and all this other.
Uh, this kind of takes me back to what I was talking about earlier. We I don't think it's a good idea to throw all your eggs in one basket with a political party or something like that. It doesn't matter who it is. Um, but Oh, real quick, let me. I want to answer Amy Ramiro. She says, Scott, where can I apply for a healing center? I have a property in the Philippines, which I want to put a healing center in which I want to put a healing center. Thanks. Um, it's not. There's not like a place where you can apply. The way I understand it from Tina, there are tens of thousands of people who are in this ICO. Each one of those, like Tina has applied for something like 40 properties for her friends and family. So if you figure there are tens of thousands and each one of them can do tens of properties, each one of those properties can have multiple of med beds. Um, you would have to like know somebody who has a property that has a med bed in it, like me, Amy. Um, from what I understand, when I get the house, there's going to be a med bed for each room. Well, I don't need four med beds, and since you're in the Philippines, I could have one delivered to you, right? So since you're the first person who's asked me about it, I would put your name at the top of the list unless I maybe had like a close friend or somebody. But um, email me, Amy, and I will save your email and I'll flag it. And if I have an extra med bed, I'll have one sent to you. And that's how I believe that's how it's going to work organically, so that these med
Yep.
beds will be spread around the world. Like Cherie has been her name has been submitted for a house, um and when she gets that house will come with a bed for every room. She's not going to need a med bed for herself for every room, so she can donate one to the local hospital in Sydney where she lives, for her town or whatever. I think that's the way I think it's going to happen. So I think it's going to be very grassroots and very organic in the way these spread, almost like weeds, beautiful flowers growing
Yep.
around the world. Okay, so I just wanted to answer that. All right, so go ahead and voice your question and
Well, let's see what the universe has to tell us about Pam Bondi.
okay. Uh, right. And you think that she may be like playing a disruptive role or
I
something
think
like that, you
so.
said?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So would a good way be to ask just in general about Pam Bondi, and should we trust her, or is she corrupted? Something like that. That's what we're
Yep.
going to be looking for. Okay.
Okay.
So this is for Pam Bondi, or is there some kind of 5D chess going on here? You know, who knows?
It could very well be true.
Okay, well, first card with her is a Two of Swords.
Ooh,
Wheel of Fortune. Hmm. Ten of Swords inverted. Three of Cups. So what is your intuition on her?
my intuition is that she brought out the Epstein files prior to when they should have been.
Oh, that's
I
right.
think.
That's what you said. Okay, and are you finished?
Yeah.
And so now they're trying to shut her up.
Yeah.
Right. No, that the cards agree with that completely, in that it so a 10 of swords would be when something's ready to come out, and this being upside down, this perfectly describes what you just said. So it's not time to celebrate just yet because they're not ready to roll it out. This 6 of wands is the after the battle and the returning heroes. Oh, she had she's like working for the black hats.
That's what I kind of figured.
Really?
Yeah, I was afraid of that. I had kind of a
Okay.
gut feeling.
Okay, I want to reiterate that I know very little about who these people are and what their positions are and what's going on. I don't follow that stuff. So I don't that's really good for me to do the reading because I'm not bringing into it my preconceived notions. But with these two cards coming upside down and that she's been like made have they made her shut up, or has she been shut down in some way?
Not quite yet, but Bombino and Cash Patel are both threatening to quit the FBI and such like if she isn't gotten rid of, because they were not happy about being made to lie about the Epstein list, that there really wasn't one. Because by what I've gathered, when the Epstein list comes out and all of our senators and congressmen and judges are all on that list, people are going to demand for the arrest to go on, which
Mm.
they're planning on arresting all those people, but it's not quite time yet because the silver is still being suppressed and we're not on the gold standard yet. So if all of a sudden right now we ended up with 95% of our government being arrested, I mean, it's going to be major panic.
Well,
So,
look, mm, well, it looks like they've gotten a hold of her and they've got her turned around, and either they've replaced her or they've got her like under their control once again. So she can't do any more harm by putting out disinformation or something like that. I'm gonna have to pause for just a moment. My one of my dogs needs to go out. My blind poodle's wandering around bumping into things, which is her sign that she needs to go out. So I'll be right back. Hold on a sec. Oreo, come on.
yeah, Rosebud, one thing that we can count on right now is rumors going crazy. There's so much going on at one time, it's hard to keep up with it all.
So once again, I think you're right with your intuition that she tried to come out with something a little bit early in a way to disrupt the the what is best for humanity. And these both of these cards being what's best for humanity and them being inverted. So yeah, Pam Bondi is not to be trusted, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty much the feeling that I've had here the last few months since
Interesting.
she went live, demanding the Epstein files and list be on her desk. And the way she brought it out to the public, it really was not kosher. Let's put it that way.
Wow. Now, late last night, just before I went to bed, something came across my Facebook feed that a hacker had gotten the Epstein file and was going to release it. Have you heard about that?
I must have missed that one. Of course, then again, with getting off work and coming home and taking a nap,
Uh-huh.
Sundays are a little hard for me to keep up with things.
Are you even on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find that because it usually comes from Dr. Motley when I get this stuff.
Hmm.
And so let me see if I can find it. No. Okay, so yeah, I don't see it here right now. But okay. All right, and let me pop over into the chat real quick and see what you guys are talking about there. What were you talking about with the fences around the government buildings and stuff? Which that's happened before, so it doesn't really mean much to me, I think. But
Well, I think with the way silver went up on Thursday and especially on Friday, they started putting up the fences not long after silver ended on Friday up, which with the way the banks work silver and how they suppress it is with stock market shorts. So whenever silver goes up, then the banks are out of money because they have to pay for, they say, well, silver is going to be at 35 and then it ends up being $36 an ounce, then they have lost like $6 million. So with the way silver, if it is unleashed the way that we are hoping and the way Phil keeps saying, we're really close, is when silver lets loose, then people are going to be rushing the Fed's bank because of money that they're going to owe on paper silver. And paper silver is not backed with real silver. So
yeah,
that's what's going to help bring the banks down. So I think it is kind of a deterrent from people rushing the building and trying to get money out that won't be there.
which building? Oh, that's a bank.
The
Not
Federal Reserve.
well, the
And
Federal Reserve, like regular people can't. It's not like a bank. Regular people can't go into the Federal Reserve, right?
but then again, if stock markets crash because of it, they people may just want to take it out on whoever they can get their hands on, and the Federal Reserve would be the first place most people that are in the stocks would aim for. I think. I don't know. I have a few stocks, but I'm not really into it. I'm not immersed into it to where I know what all is going on, and I just have a little bit in a few stocks just to watch to see what they're doing per day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just put my cards back in order. They all got flipped, which is funny because those upside down cards for the Pam Bondi were pretty telling. They them being upside down. She is not for the people. Right? All right. Well, any more questions on world events or the news that you'd like me to do? Anybody out there in the chat as well?
Yeah, come on, somebody, come up with a question for me. For us, for Scott, keep him busy here. Come on.
Yep. And you could, and if you have a
Yep.
question, like a personal question for the cards, and you could, if you could buy two coffees for it, that would be greatly appreciated. I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat one more time. This is my buy me a coffee link. And you could also send money to through Zelle or PayPal, Cash App to AT Plato, 99 at Gmail. Or if you just want to contact me about seeing getting a reading, I want to make something else very clear that my my fees are negotiable. Okay, so if you're somebody out there who doesn't have much money, doesn't have a lot of money, or almost no money, um, I and you have a serious issue in your life and you really feel like you need some answers that you can't find anywhere else and you think tarot could help, I'll do it for you for whatever you can pay. Yeah, it's just an energy exchange. It doesn't matter how much energy, it's just an energy exchange. So, if $5 is all you have, then buy me one coffee and send me your question and I'll answer it. Or if you have a lot of questions and you feel like you need 30 minutes and you've only got $10 and that's all you can pay is $10, then send me what you can and I'd be happy to meet with you. I've got nothing else to do. It gives me a reason to want to get up in the morning, and it feels so good when I finish a session with somebody and they go, "Oh, thanks. That's what I thought was going on, but I didn't know if I was getting it right." And you just confirmed it for me, or you took away this bad feeling that I was having, and you showed me that there's nothing to worry about. So I get a great deal of personal satisfaction and having been of service because that's what I was told that I was here to do. That was my purpose. The fact that I use this also to earn a living, that's only part of it and not the most important part because I don't need much money to live on. All right. And so don't think, oh, I'll never be able to afford the $50 or the $25 that Scott asked for a reading. Just send me an email. Tell me what your issues are, and if I can help you, I'll help you. Okay. Will
You're a
summer
great
temps
person.
in South Carolina or Southern California be moderate? So, questions that have to do with weather and things like that, I don't know. I mean, I defer to what Honey's always said that there's going to be a time when weather all around the world is going to be moderate. I could see that happening. Oh, I remember. I wanted to talk about this since we're talking about weather and things. When Honey first started mentioning how, have you noticed now how the sun is smaller and whiter and hotter? I didn't really understand what she was talking about because when I left America to come live in Thailand, I'm at 10 degrees north of the equator. So it's completely different here, like when you look at the sun. And so yes, to me, the sun was different. I thought it was because I'd moved to a different part of the world. And it is more intense. And one time I was doing a lesson with my students, young students. It was about color and what color. So I'm like, what color is an apple? I'd get answers red or green. What color is the sun? And my students would say red because in Southeast Asia, everybody thinks of the sun as being red in color, like the flag, the Japanese flag, and things like that. And technically, even like in science classification, we have a yellow sun. There are white suns and blue suns and stars. We have a yellow star. And so instead of just arguing with them or trying to tell them that's what it was, I said everybody just go outside and look at the sun. It's the middle of the day, and it was you can't look directly at it, but you can glance up at it. And for one thing, it was so bright that you just couldn't look at it at all. And it was just super intense, small, white. And that's when I first had the inkling. And this was 8, 9 years ago. Like, that's not what the sun usually looks like. Right. But I guess it's
Mm.
just because I live in Thailand. So recently I went back to Florida, and I can tell you unequivocally now the sun in Florida does not look like the sun that I remember being in Florida in the summertime. It's changed.
Yep. can't tell you say exactly when it changed, but I know as a kid it was yellow, and now as an adult it's white.
Hmm. And then when yeah, but when I asked my local friends in Melbourne, Florida, grew up, they didn't really notice it because they've just been in it, So it happened, maybe it happened gradually over time. I mean, how about you guys out there? Do you ever remember a time when you looked outside and noticed the sun and said, the sun's smaller, whiter, and brighter than it used to be? Do you remember a time when you noticed that? Curious in the chat. But anyhow, seems like things are winding down and I'm done with my emails. I read all the emails I had for you.
Those were
And
some really brilliant emails.
yep,
Definitely.
about time to wrap it up. Yeah, big thank you to Tina for sending me that information. Um, otherwise, a lot of times I come here and I try to come prepared with something interesting, maybe something new, something to tell you guys about. But uh, most times I don't know what I want to talk about here, and I feel like don't be looking to others outside of yourself for answers. Once again, we really should be doing our own, like use your own discernment. Get in touch with your higher self. What is your higher self telling you about a lot of these questions that you have about things? I read the sky. I have. So Rosebud
Rose
said,
said,
it's been changing in the past couple of years. I am a sky watcher. I read the sky. I have for years. Me too. I'm really good at weather prediction. And in Thailand, the weather forecast is terrible. What it says when I wake up in the morning and I check what the internet says the weather's supposed to be for the day, it can be something completely different. It's never correct. Time for bed. Yeah, it's time for me to end it too, Serena. Thanks everybody for being here. Thank you, Cherie, for your help. You know, I
oh, very
I
welcome.
really appreciate it. All right.
I
And
appreciate you being there with me.
I
And everybody put up positive vibes. Pray that this all comes to pass and quickly. Quickly, quickly.
it is here, Cherie. It is time. It's just when is it going to be in your hometown? That's the only question right now, and all has to do with the flip, as she says. And as far as I know, from what Tina and I spoke with Tina personally last week. She's just waiting for the keys and the paperwork to be mailed out. She asked me for my home address and my full legal name, and she's going to use a courier, EMS, which is it's like UPS for Thailand. It's a international courier. And I'm just waiting to get my keys and my paperwork so I can move into my house and start getting chauffeured around in my new Lexus by my chauffeur. It's going to be my partner, Nina, since she has a Thai license and she's familiar with driving in Thailand. And I don't like driving cars in Thailand. I don't like riding motorcycles in Thailand. It's difficult and dangerous. All
Well,
right. So,
let's all do a happy dance before we go to bed tonight. It's here.
that's right.
It's here.
Oh, Sheree, I also wanted to point out it's interesting that you live in is that your hometown, right? It's Sydney. And my hometown is Melbourne. We both come from hometowns that have the names, Australian names in them. So
That's true. That's very true. Because whenever people ask where you're from, I say I was born in Sydney. They go Australia, and I'm going no, Nebraska.
yeah, you're from Sydney and I'm from Melbourne. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you got something out of this. I hope your vibrations have been raised. I hope you're all feeling optimistic about the future and about getting your med beds and getting your currencies exchanged and your cryptos going skyrocketing and silver and gold and everything else. We have a bright future. The golden age is here. We're just entering into it just now. I know that to be true.
Amen.
All right.
And
Good night,
bless you.
everybody.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Scott. Thanks for having me again.
Good night. Bye bye. All right, Cherie.